Okay, so we're going to make a start now. So yeah, really, really warm welcome to yoga at the London Buddhist Centre. So my name's Anna, and I'm one of the teachers here at the centre. And yeah, we've been running lots and lots of classes and events, and we had a wonderful Buddha Day festival at the weekend, and we've got a home retreat coming up. And so it's great that so many of you are engaging with everything that we're putting out. So despite the fact that the doors of the centre are closed to the public, so many of you are able to engage with our online offerings, and that's absolutely fantastic. And especially those of you who wouldn't otherwise be able to join in with the activities of the centre due to, time or distance. So yeah, that's really, really great. So for today's class, so when teaching in this way, when sharing these offerings, I don't have a group of students in a class like I'm used to, so I can't see you all. I'm not sure, I know some of you have been practicing, some of you have been practicing for a long time, some of you might be newer to yoga. And some of you you'll all respond to slightly different things. So some of you might like a slightly slower practice. Some people like to stay in poses for a bit longer, sort of linger in postures. And some people respond well to movement that's a little bit more continuous, a little bit more flowing. So what I thought I'd attempt today, and you can let me know at the end if you think it worked or not, is to offer a little bit of both. So there'll be a little bit more flexibility to choose your own adventure, which is something that my teacher says that I really like. And don't worry, I'll still guide you through the practice, but I'll just leave room for a little bit of your own input. Yeah, so I'll still hold your hand all the way through, but yeah, you'll have just the opportunity to decide whether you want to take things a little bit more energetically or a little bit more softly. Yeah, and one of the lovely things about practicing at home is that you can do that, and there's no strangers on the mats around you watching you. They don't mind what you're doing. No one can see you. I can't even see you. So if you want to spend the next 45 minutes lying on the ground and listening to my voice, then that's absolutely fine. Not quite sure why you'd want to do that, but there you go. So we'll start with a short seated meditation. We'll just take a couple of minutes just to ground, and I'll guide us through a little bit of breath awareness. So go ahead and find yourselves in a comfortable seat, so you can cross your legs like I'm doing, or you can sit just in any way that is comfortable for you. And then go ahead and close your eyes. Just close your eyes and allow the seat, the weight of the body to sort of soften into the seat, whatever position you're holding. And just see if there's any surface tension, perhaps in your face or in your shoulders, that you can just start to soften, you can just start to let go of here. And see if you can just give yourself time to arrive. So sometimes when I come to my yoga practice or meditation, that's when I realise quite how busy my mind feels. And sometimes it feels like a pendulum that just swings between the past and the future. And really just seeing if we can allow that pendulum to slow down a little bit and settle in the present. So start to draw the awareness into the breath. Just allowing the awareness to settle on the parts of the body where you can feel the breath. So moving in through the nostrils, the back of the throat, perhaps in some part of the torso, maybe even the belly. And just a few rounds of simply following the thread of the inhale and the exhale. And then you can keep your eyes closed for this next part. But just make your way down onto the ground and come into child's pose. So you can take the knees wide, big toes can touch. Stretch your arms forwards and take your forehead down towards the ground. And just pause there, take a few breaths. I'm just going to move my mic a little bit. There we go. Okay. And as you stay in child's pose, see if you can stay connected to the breath and just notice how the change in the body, the posture of the body might have changed where you feel the breath. So when I come into child's pose, I can feel the breath a little bit more in the back of my body, around the back lower ribs, around the shoulder blades. And then see if you can start to broaden out the breath a little bit. So let the breath just come into the back of the body a little bit more fully. So there's a smoothness to the inhales and a smoothness to the exhales. Good. And then when you're ready, we'll take some cat-cow. So come up to all fours. Shoulders are over the wrists, knees are under the hips. And with that breath, breathing in into a small back bend. And breathing out to round the tail, the spine. Tailbone heavy, head heavy. So breathing in, open out the chest, shoulders roll back, heart extends forward. And exhaling, rounding through the spine. So the movement and the breath, seeing if we can see them as linked. It's almost like the breath is initiating the movement. So one more like that, breathing in. And breathing out. Good. And then make your way into a neutral spine and keep your left hand down. Reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Look up towards that top thumb. So it's like an open twist, turning the chest out towards the right. Take a breath in where you are, stretch up. And then on your out breath, dive under your left hand side and take your right ear down to the ground. And then again, press the left hand down, reach your right arm up, breathing in. And then exhaling, come into that closed twist. And now your choice. So you can either stay as you are in this twist, Or you can keep moving. You can keep reaching the right arm up, looking up, and threading the arm under. So the first time you get to choose. So you're either moving, maybe with the breath, or you're staying in one of the closed or open twists. Just take a few more moments there. So if you're in that closed twist, you might want to reach your left arm forward. So you've got two straight arms, and then you can rotate the chest a little bit more around towards the left. Just taking a couple more breaths. Good, and then when you're ready, just making your way back to your hands and knees. And then draw back into child's pose from there. So hips come down towards the heels, forehead down towards the ground. And then from there, you're going to look forwards and slide all the way out onto your belly. So the chest can stay quite low to the ground. Hands underneath your shoulders, tops of the feet down. And then press yourself up into a lowish cobra. So shoulders roll back, elbows come in, feel the back body switch on. And then as you breathe out, lower down to the ground. As you breathe in, lifting up the chest. And breathing out, lower down. So either a couple more with the breath, lifting and lowering, or you can stay in a cobra pose, pressing the hands down, elbows hug in, collarbones forwards, back of the neck long. Taking one more breath in. And then everybody lower down to the ground. Tuck your toes. Good. And let's come into downward facing dog, and then we'll do the second side of the twist. So tucking the toes under, lifting the hips up and back, pressing the hands forwards and down. And then for this first one, it might feel nice to take a little bit of movement, so you can bend into one knee, then the other. You might want to just sway the hips from side to side, just taking any little wriggling movements that feel good, or coming into stillness. Wherever you are, whatever you're up to, try and keep the gaze steady between your feet. Or you might even tuck the chin and look towards the knees. Okay, and then when you're ready, pull forwards and come back to your hands and knees. So this time, press your right hand down into the ground and reach your left arm up as you breathe in. And breathing out, diving under the right hand side, left ear comes down to the ground. Breathing in, lift the left arm up. And breathing out to come into that threaded needle. Good, and then again, so you can either keep moving, so keep opening the chest and then twisting, or you can stay in this, in either one of the twists, the open twist or the closed twist. So just feeling your way into it, no right or wrong. Just exploring whether you need a little bit more movement or a little bit more stillness today. Then just see if you can come back to observing the breath wherever you are. Good. And then let's come back to hands and knees. And then drawing back into child's pose. And looking forwards, come all the way out onto the belly, hands under shoulders, elbows in, lifting up the chest. Good, and then slowly lowering all the way down. Good, and then once again up into cobra pose. And then either staying where you are or moving through that lifting and lowering. If you're staying in cobra pose, you might want to lift up just a little bit higher, but keep the elbows bent, at least a little bit bent. Keep the back of the neck long. Good. And then as you lower down, everyone lower down, it's like the chest is moving forwards as you come down. Hands under shoulders, tuck your toes, and draw back into downward facing dog. So the hips lift up, lift back. And then let's all come high onto the tiptoes on an in-breath. And then on your out-breath, press the heels down and back. So on your in-breath, high on tiptoes, bend your knees a little bit. And then exhale, heels are heavy, legs get a little bit straighter. Couple more times. So rocking onto the tiptoes, bend the knees, lift the sitting bones. And then exhale, heels heavy, press the thigh bones back. Good. And then from there, looking forwards, step yourselves to the front of your mat. Good. And then slide the hands up to the shins and come halfway up. So lift the chest, shoulders back. And then breathing out, lowering down to the ground, tuck the head in. And a couple more times. So coming halfway up, shoulders roll back, heart extends forwards. And again, you can pause here or you can keep moving. And notice if you keep moving, how the in-breath, it might come quite naturally as you raise the chest. And the out-breath might come quite naturally as you lower down. So if you're still moving, then just taking one more of those. And then we'll all meet in a forward fold, soften the knees, relax the head. And you can take hold of your opposite elbows here. I quite like to take this kind of ragdoll forward fold. So the knees can be quite generously bent here. Bit of space between your feet. Little rock from side to side. And then just releasing the arms down. And slowly just rolling all the way up to standing. Good. And then we're going to start to draw a big circle. We're going to go clockwise. So you're going to take your both hands over towards your right hand side. And then they're going to go down between your 2 feet. And then up and over towards the left. So big, big, big circle. And then take 2 more of those. And again, notice how the in-breath, if you just let the breath come naturally, it might be that the in-breath comes as you lift your arms up. Good. And then next time you get up to standing, keep the arms up. And then we're going to go the other way. So switch the grip of your wrists. And then big circle anti-clockwise. So over, drawing up towards the right, and then down towards the left. So let the knees be quite soft here. And see if you can feel it in the sides of your body. One more. Big circle. It makes me think of an elephant's trunk, this one. So big circle all the way over and up. Good. And then just let the hands come down. And I'm going to step back to the front of my mat. Okay. And then next time you breathe in, circle the arms up. And then take a big swan dive forwards. Fingertips to the ground, tuck the head in, relax the head. And then just once coming up halfway, lift the chest. And then exhaling, folding forwards. Step your right foot back and take the right knee down to the ground. Untuck the toes. Lift your arms forwards and up as you breathe in. Good. And then you're either going to stay here with the arms reaching up, Or on your exhales, bend the elbows out to the sides, and then inhale, lift your arms forwards and up. So either staying in Anjaneyasana, crescent lunge, or big circles with the arms a few times. Good, and then let's just take one more breath in wherever you are. And then breathing out. Take the hands down towards the ground and draw back to downward facing dog from there. Good, and then when you're ready, come on forwards onto your tiptoes. Take the knees to the ground. Draw back into child's pose. Look forwards. Slide the chest forwards. Lift up into cobra. Shoulders roll back. And then slowly, slowly lowering all the way down to the ground. And then back to downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. So just a slightly different version of the sort of vinyasa that we normally do. So just taking a couple of breaths here. So when I'm practicing on my own, I normally don't breathe in and out through my mouth so much, but something about teaching and practicing at the same time makes you a little bit more out of breath. So bear with me. Okay. And when you're ready, soften your knees and look forwards. And then step the right foot through to between your hands. Left knee down towards the ground. Untuck your toes. This time, just lift your arms up over the head. Press both feet down into the ground. And then, as you breathe out, hands come down. Step your back foot forwards. Forward fold. Coming up halfway as you breathe in. So the chest slides forward, shoulders slide back. And then exhaling, lower down to the ground. Relax the head. Press your feet down into the ground. Lift your arms up. Look up. Lift the chest. And then take the hands together in front of the chest. And just close your eyes to see if you can feel the breath. Perhaps the chest rising up into the thumbs. Good. And then when you're ready, let's take the second side. So a big circle of the arms all the way up. And then as you exhale, lower down to the ground. Take the fingertips to the ground. Good, and then coming halfway up, draw the belly in as you lift the chest. Good, and then stepping your left foot back, take the left knee down to the ground. Good, lifting your arms forwards and up here. And then again, you've got the option to stay just like this, so staying in that crescent lunge. Or on your out breath, elbows bend out to the sides. And on your in breath, arms reach forwards and up. And if you're moving, just seeing if you can move in time with your own breath. It might be slower, it might be faster than mine. Next time you lift your arms, take a breath in, and then we'll all take the hands down to the ground and step back to downward facing dog from there. So you can either stay as you are, you can just stay here for a few breaths, or come high to the tiptoes, take the knees to the ground. Exhale to press back to child's pose. Inhale to slide out onto your belly, any sized cobra. So you can come up quite high, or you can bend the elbows a little bit more. Collarbones shining forwards. And then slowly lower all the way to the ground. And tuck your toes. And press back, downward facing dog. And just using this little bit of stillness, just a little pause, just to check in with your breath. And when you're ready, soften your knees and look forwards. And step the left foot through to between your hands. Take your right knee down to the ground. As you breathe in, lift your arms up over the head. And then exhale, take the hands to the ground. And step your back foot to the front. And coming up halfway as you breathe in, lift the chest. And then as you breathe out, forward fold. Head relaxes down. Good, and then big sweep of the arms all the way up over the head. Good, and then take your hands together in prayer in front of the chest. Send your weight into your left foot and draw your right knee in towards your chest. Good, and then we're just going to play with a little balance. So you're going to start to lean forwards as you kick your right foot back. So you come into warrior 3. And then come all the way back up to standing and bring your right knee into your chest. Keep the hands where they are. And then again, seeing if you can, it's as though you're tilting on your axis. Press out through your right heel. And then slowly come all the way back up. Knee comes into chest. Good. This time, back through warrior 3. Press out through that right heel. And then take a big step back with your right foot. Land on the toes, high lunge. Woo. Lift your arms up. So take a big breath in where you are. And then as you breathe out, take a twist. So your right arm goes forwards and your left arm goes back. Good. And then again, you can either move between those two, so the high lunge and the twist, or you can stay in either one of the postures. Or do a little bit of both. So whatever you're doing, try and keep an awareness on your feet. Yeah, so really stamp the feet down and try to draw both of your thighs towards the midline of your body. Good, and then we're all going to meet in this open twist and take the right hand down to the ground, left arm up towards the ceiling. Good, now step your front foot, your left foot, halfway back to meet the right, toes point out towards the left, and then come onto the outer edge of your back foot. Yeah? And then left arm is reaching up. See if you can reach the left arm towards the front of the room. Press your left heel down and lift your hips up. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, lower your hips and reach your left arm towards your right foot. Yep. And then a couple more times. Reaching up, hips press up. And then lowering down. If you'd rather rest in either one of these positions, probably the bottom one, then you also can do that. And try and keep driving through that right arm. Good. And then when you're ready, see if you can make your way back into downward facing dog from there. So either staying as you are, or rocking forwards, coming onto hands and knees, big toes touch, hips back towards heels, child's pose. Looking forwards, it's like you're slithering forwards like a snake. Lift the chest, shoulders roll back. And then slowly lowering all the way to the ground. Tuck your toes and draw back into downward facing dog. Good, and then from there, see if you can shift your weight into your left foot and reach your right leg up and back behind you, three-legged dog. And then draw the right knee in towards your chest and step the right foot through to between your hands. Come onto your fingertips. So that back heel is nice and high. So take a breath in where you are. And as you breathe out, start to straighten your right leg, any amount, so it can get all the way straight or just a little bit straighter. And then we'll just spend a little bit of time here. So again, you can move in and out of the posture, bending and straightening that front leg, or you can stay here in the pyramid posture. A couple more breaths. Try and keep a little bit of length through the spine. Wherever you are, just coming back to observing that breath. Good, and then let's all soften the front knee and hop the back foot forward, so come to a standing forward fold. Slide the hands up to the shins, elongate the spine. And then exhaling, lowering all the way to the ground. Relax the head. Good. And then sweep your arms all the way over and up. Lift the gaze, look up. Good. And hands come together in front of the heart. So we'll just do the second side and then we'll come down to the ground. You're all doing really well. Good. And then, so grounding down through that right leg, left knee comes in towards the chest. So roll your shoulders back. It's almost like you're doing a baby cobra with your upper back as you lean the chest forwards and start to kick the left leg back. Yeah, and then slowly coming all the way up, knee to chest. And then again, tilting forwards, kick the leg back. If you're wobbly, that's fine, that's very normal. And then one more time, knee into chest. And this time just pausing for a moment with that back leg straight, warrior three. Good, and then land the back toes down, big step back, arms lift up. On your out breath, into that twist. And then you can either stay in either one of those two postures or move between the two. Yeah, soften into that front knee, but lift the back heel high. I'm going to stay in the twist so I can look at the flowers on the shrine. Just a couple more breaths. Good. And then left hand comes down to the ground, under left shoulder. Right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Right foot steps halfway back towards the left. Come onto the outer edge of your left foot. So can you see that right heel is stamping down into the ground? And then start to reach over with that top hand. Take a breath. And then start to lower your hips down towards the ground until they almost touch. And then reach your right arm back towards your heel, your back heel. And then press the ground away, lift the hips, reach the top arm over. And then lower all the way down. Reach back. Good. And then press that heel down, reach the top arm over. Nice. And then last one, slowly lower down. Hip comes down. Good. And then from there, circle that right arm over and make your way back into downward facing dog. Okay, so last time you can either stay here or rock forwards onto your tiptoes. Take the knees to the ground. Draw back into child's pose. And as you breathe in, sliding forwards, lifting the chest. You might want to come into a slightly higher back bend, but try and keep the shoulders back, chest moving forwards. Feel it in the back body, the upper back. And then slowly, slowly lowering down to the ground. And then just make a pillow of your palms for a moment. So if you're in downward facing dog, just rocking forwards, come to meter. And just feeling the breath. Just feeling the movement of the breath through the body. Feeling the contact between the belly, the ribs and the ground. And just noticing how that might change as you breathe in and you breathe out. Good. And then just take your hands under your shoulders and press back up into a kneeling position. Good. And then we're just going to take one seated posture and then come down to the ground. So fold your right leg in, like you're doing tree pose, and then extend the left leg out long. So turn the chest a little bit over your straight leg, lift your arms up, and then lean forwards like you're trying to get the lower ribs down onto the top of your thigh. And then when you can't lean anymore without the back rounding, just take the hands down to where they get to. So don't worry about reaching for the foot. And you might be quite high up, but you're thinking of sort of leaning forwards over that front leg rather than like rounding the back and tucking the head in. So try to keep lengthening through the side body. Good. And then, so you can either stay like you are for a few more breaths or pick up your right hand and then start to sweep the right fingertips out towards the right side of the room. And then take your right hand to the ground, fingertips pointing back. Hips are going to start to lift up. Left arm reaches up and then reaches back as well. Good. And then we'll all come all the way down. And then change sides. So slide the right leg out. Bend the left knee out to the left side. Sole of the left foot presses on the inner right thigh. Good. And then lift your arms up, take a breath in. And as you breathe out, slowly just lowering down, but try to keep lengthening through the spine and then just let the hands come down wherever they get to. So maybe somewhere on your leg, maybe the foot. Don't worry too much about that. And then just elongating through the spine. So either spending a few more breaths here or releasing the left hand and then sweeping the left fingertips out towards the left. Left hand comes down to the ground behind you. Press the left hand down into the ground, lift the hips, and then reach the right arm back. Relax the head. Good, and then we'll all come back down and transition down onto your back. Take the soles of your feet down flat. So setting up for bridge pose here. So walking the feet in so that you can more or less touch the heels with your fingertips. And then before we do the normal bridge, just dig your heels down into the ground. So really press the heels down, lift the hips just a little bit, so a couple of inches. And then try to draw your tailbone, so the very bottom of your spine, towards the backs of your knees. So you're going to start to feel the backs of the legs switch on. And then from there, imagine that you've got a bowl of water sitting in your pelvis. And you're going to start to sort of swing or swirl the bowl of water around in your pelvis. So you can drop one hip and then the other, just a little bit. You could even imagine that you're moving in sort of figure of 8. You might even want to lift up one heel and then the other so that you're transferring the weight between your 2 feet. Good, and then you can either stay as you are with that little movement or press up into a more classic bridge pose. And if you're there, you might want to shuffle the shoulders underneath you, interlace the fingers. So you can probably I can definitely feel the backs of my legs. I'm just staying with that for a few more breaths. Good, then letting go wherever you are. And then slowly rolling all the way down to the ground. Just letting the knees rock a little bit from side to side. And then take your arms out wide so that they're in a sort of T position if you have space. If not, you can bend your elbows or reach your arms up a little bit higher. That works as well. Good, and then bring your knees into your chest and wrap your right leg around your left. And then just shimmy your hips an inch or 2 over towards the right, and then bring your knees over to the left. Yeah, and if that doesn't feel good in your right hip, if it feels like there's too much sensation going on, then let go of the cross of the legs and just stack your right leg on top of your left. And then if you want to sort of deepen the twist and take it through the whole of the spine, then you can turn the head towards your right. So the head is in the opposite direction to your knees. So you might have moved quite continuously through a lot of that practice, or you might have spent a little bit more time in stillness through the postures. But now let's all come to come towards a stiller place. And then gently ease your way out of the twist. Uncross the legs. And shift your hips back to neutral, back to the middle. And then cross the left leg over the right. So you might want to double wrap if that's an option for you. And then shift your hips a little over to the left and bring the knees over to the right. And again, if it doesn't feel good to have the legs crossed, then don't do it. Just stack your right leg on top of your left. That's a fine option. And maybe turning the head towards the left. Good. And then when you're ready, just coming back, we'll just have a short relaxation. Of course, feel free to stay longer if you can, if you've got time. If you prefer to take seated meditation, then that's also an option. Just coming down to either lie on your back or sit in meditation. So if you can stay longer, if you have more time to relax, then feel free to just switch off this video. And stay where you are. If it's time to move on, then just bringing a little bit of movement back into your bodies. Taking a stretch, reaching the arms if you're lying down. Just making your way up to seated. You can close the eyes. Just organizing yourself in a seated position and just coming back to that breath, coming back to that awareness of breath. Just remembering that the breath is always available to you to anchor you in the present moment, to settle and ground yourself. So when you're ready, just sealing your practice in a way that feels appropriate to you and opening your eyes. Yeah, so thank you very much everybody for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the practice and I hope to see you again soon. So as a lot of you know, we run bodywork classes every weekday at 12 o'clock. So we do yoga on Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and we do Qigong on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we've also got a home retreat coming up, which is going to start on Sunday night, which is going to include lots and lots of really, really wonderful events. So it'll include morning meditation sessions on Zoom, it will include study and discussion, and there'll be body work every day, and there'll be extended evening sessions. So really, really wonderful teachers involved with that home retreat. You can sign up on our website for that, and it's a free course, so it's a donation-based course. So a lot of the offerings of the centre we offer freely. We offer on a give what you can basis. So if you feel in a position to give and you would like to, there is a link underneath this video which will send you to our Just Giving page. So yeah, thank you very much to everybody who tuned in, and have a lovely Wednesday. Thanks to Polly for doing the tech. Bye.